I go for half an hour walking. Big deal. You should be walking all your life. That is the reaction I see from all your faces. If I say that I go to gym regularly, then Kritika feels I am very old-fashioned. But if I say that I do power yoga, then I become one of the multifaceted personality. So, friends, yoga is the current buzzword across the world. So, dear Toastmaster, fellow members and guests, good evening.
Good evening.
Friends, I am a normal mortal, so I also got attracted to yoga. When I developed such interest, I immediately buy yoga dress, yoga mat, get myself admitted to yoga institute. So then I think whether I will be consistently able to do yoga. But I was little different and did some analysis. I realized yoga is just not physical exercises like asanas or breathing. It is a way of life. Friends, yoga is a science and it teaches us the way of life. The beginning of yoga goes back 15,000 years ago, and it was Adi Yogi who actually started the yoga. Then over years it got into some 1800 forms. So yoga also got into some specialization syndrome like the current allopathy medication. Then in 2nd century BC, a great yogi Patanjali, he realized that this great yoga is losing its direction. So Patanjali, who is not a creator but he is a great expounder, he came up with 8 limbs or 8 steps, and in totality he said this forms yoga. So he helped the mankind to follow yoga. Now, as per Patanjali, the 8 limbs of yoga are this. If you see the first limb, Yama, what it means is, it tells us the rights of living. Yama is the series of righteous approach to life. It tells us the shall not in our dealings with the external world. It is a self-control, discipline, which we are supposed to exhibit all the time and help us reach a healthy body and a healthy mind. Now, he says that there are 5 yamas. The 5 yamas, the first one is ahimsa. What it means? Very simple. It is non-violence. So, it is abstinence from violence, which is a result of love for all. We are not supposed to create any pain to any living being, even by our thought, our words, or by our deeds. The second yama, satya, is absence of falsehood. So, what we are supposed to do is that our deeds and thoughts should always exhibit the real facts, which will make us turn out to be a honest and an integral person. And the third yama, so before I forget, in our Toastmaster evaluations, are we not supposed to exhibit the ahimsa and satya? Yeah. Now we will move on to the third yama, which is asteya, which is non-stealing, non-coveting, or non-borrowing. It restricts people from exploiting anybody in the society or any individual in the society. The fourth yama is brahmacharya, which is a self-realization. It tells us that greatness about being divine, understanding the existence of the universe. And the last one is aparigraha, which is not getting into extreme greed for wealth or money. You will not get into hoarding or ostentatious lifestyle. It will teach us saying live your life within your means. Okay, now these yamas are they shall not in our dealings with our external world. We as a society believe in this and we try to follow. If an individual does not follow this, it impacts him, his family, his friends. So there is an impact to the society, but it's not very high. But how about corporates? Don't you think they have to apply all those yamas in their corporate culture? Corporates interact with the world, touch upon many individuals, and the impact they create is very high. So they should be the first person to follow the ahimsa, which will make them not get into or being fair to all their stakeholders, being the shareholders, customers, or their employees. Don't you think they have to follow Satya and be fair in their reflection of the reports, not to conceal some important facts or misappropriation of their financial deals? Now, the third aspect, which is also the Asteya, is also important to corporates, because only then they will start respecting intellectual property rights. They will not get into aspects of unfair employee wages or not sharing income across the group. Then you may be asking me, how is brahmacharya applicable to corporates? Gender discrimination. If there is a lack of forum to resolve your sexual abuses, or there are barriers where the women or the minority members in the corporate cannot grow up, then that company is not following the rules of brahmacharya. Tehelka falls under this category. Now, the last rule, which is your aparigraha, is also applicable to corporates, because only that will force the corporates to use or be careful with the very scarce or the non-renewable resources. They have to get into recycling and they should not get into hoarding. So, friends, I believe that the yamas in yoga is as much applicable to corporate as it is to individuals. Their value and mission statements should incorporate the yamas. This will ensure that individuals get attracted to the company and they get loyal to the values of the companies. Friends, companies cannot be successful if the society around them fails. So, companies have to incorporate this culture or these yamas into their culture and work for the betterment of the society. And we should only support these companies. Over to you, Master.
So when I heard the title corporate on one hand, I knew yoga on another hand, I knew. But after going through this speech, I so nicely understood how to integrate those two together in a way that is so beneficial to the society. So thank you so much.